So welcome back to the base building channel for us, and today I have the perfect trio base design for you. On the front we have the most important, the mini Satori stubby version disconnectable TC. They are quite cheap to upkeep, so you won't have to worry. It's easy to disconnect, just placing a twig roof and then the TCs will disconnect. Just place in your floor frames again and upgrade them to sheet metal, and then you are set and done. This is just one of the 3 identical gatehouses for this base that offers a lot of angles and seeing what's going on the outside. All the gatehouses are protected by 360 degrees of auto turret protection all around the compound, so you won't have to be worried about people jumping in. On every of the WideGap stations there are a nice drop down for you to get easy into your shooting floors. This is a quite nice addition, but you don't have to add them if you don't like them. As you go into the base, this is just a normal airlock that everyone uses, just simple and nicely. As we go in deeper, we find ourselves by our repair bench and our research table with a few storage boxes underneath them. As we go in deeper into the base, there's a lot of garage doors protecting all your loot. This is a nice little open area for a few storage boxes to store some extra drop loot and everything you don't need. There are 3 identical drop downs into this base. This is the one with the TC in it. Each one of them has a nice loot room design towards them to keep up all that loot that you steal from other clans. They are also well protected and well guarded by doors, so they won't easily get to your loot. And this is the last little storage area. Everyone has a sleeping bag, so each member of your team can spawn in different areas, so that you won't have to worry about spawning on each other. As we go up the elevator, we find ourselves in the 3rd floor with our quick respawn beds, as well as a few lockers for easy kit regaining. There's also a battery to power all your auto turrets on the 3rd floor. To go outside on the shooting floor, we have a nice little 360 degree view with wide gaps all around. This is the perfect shooting floor with a lot of angles to easily fight off the raiders. There's also nice and long angles to go through your whole shooting floor. If there's a part of the shooting floor that is compromised, you can easily retake them from these windows. As we go up to the roof is quite simple, just a normal roof with a few windows having the view from the outside. As well, you can even park in a minicopter in here if you like, but it won't be necessary. The top of the roof you can design just as you like. You don't have to use my designs, just be your own player. The upkeep and build cost for this base is quite cheap, so you won't have to worry about farming the whole day even if you are a trio. The base footprint is quite small and it will fit into any terrain. Just make sure about the WideGap external TCs that they have enough space to be. The start of the base is quite simple to build and easy to work with. Just placing your triangle foundation and square it off with walls. Placing your first TC and then wall everything off with a square foundation next to that. Placing on a door, and then your starter base is set. Just placing a few starter items for your team to get off the ground. Next to that you can place in 2 triangles and then another square next to that. Close everything also off with walls. Just make sure that the one roof is actually wood for now, otherwise you won't be able to pick it out later. Just make sure not to add in all the doorways like this one, otherwise you won't be able to place the wall later on. Next we are gonna start by expanding our honeycomb. Please just upgrade the foundation under the tool cupboard to armored before extending anything. Placing all your last clips of the blueprint, the footprint, and then just fill in with walls. Just make sure to leave the ceiling gaps open, or you can close them off with wood for now. You can use furnaces as a nice jump up, so just carve a few extra for nice jump ups. Next we can start by adding in our front airlock, just with a normal door and a armor door if you have one. But if you don't have an armor door, just place in a normal sheet metal for now, and then start to close all the walls off on the sides. Next we're just gonna add in some of our barrier walls, just to make the segments a bit cut off. This roof here, please make it only wood, otherwise you won't be able to exit onto the roof later on, and you're gonna have to struggle to remove the stone. Next we're gonna start by adding honeycomb all around the base, just triangles on every side of the base you can see, and just fill everything in. This is a quite easy step, so just farm up and get yourself a nice amount of stone and then fill in the bottom layer of the honeycomb. In the front of the base there's a nice little area, just make sure it is tweaked for now, otherwise you won't be able to place in your external TCs later on. And then lastly, just on the inside of the base, just upgrade everything to sheet metal. If you don't have the sheet metal now, you can leave it for later on and upgrade as you go, but it is important to upgrade everything in this step to sheet metal, just to add in to the direct cost of the base. Make sure everything in the core is nice armored. In phase 3 you're gonna start with our external TCs. The WideGap is quite simple, just placing your triangle and then go out. There is a problem with this side of the WideGap, so please try and go from the other side of the triangle and not this side, otherwise you won't be able to place the triangle floor later on. But there is a fix towards it, so you won't have to worry. This is just a normal placement for the mini Satori stubby version of the disconnectable TC. It's in every video, it's easy to build, so you don't have to worry. And if you are struggling to place the TC, just remove this tweak and then place back your TC. The thing is that the square next to the tweak that you just removed, just remove that square again, place down your ramp, and then you are set and done. Then you won't have to worry about placing the triangle again. And the gatehouse is also quite simple to build. Just fill in the rest of your disconnectable TC just to make sure everything is connected, that nothing decays. The external gatehouses is quite nice and has a lot of view and cheap to build. That's one external TC done and set. All you have to do is just do all the other external TCs, and then you are done and set for the rest of the base. Just make sure to place in metal barricades on every gatehouse, nice and fit. Don't place it too far back, place it nicely in the front. And then the wall placement is also quite easy to do, so you don't have to worry about placing walls. And now we're gonna start by adding in our shooting roofs and our external gatehouse WideGap shooting floors. Placing wall frames everywhere as seen, and just repeat it on every step on every gatehouse.